Hello, it's Dana, and I am back this week with another video that I have wanted to make for a long time. This video is about how to be productive and, dare I say, somewhat successful, maybe, in a world when you are a type B personality and everyone who's successful seems to be a type A. Type A personalities are the type of people that we see who they always seem organized. They have the bulleted to-do lists. They are the high achievers, the go-getters. Disclaimer, I don't dislike type A people. I'm not trying to bash type A people. This video is supposed to help those of us who constantly feel like we are drowning, who can never seem to stick to one project once we've started it, who are constantly doubting ourselves and wondering how everyone else seems to get everything done while we're stuck here just cleaning up our mess over and over again. No, I am a type B person. I have been my whole life. Even as a child, type B people struggle because, especially in America, but across the world as well, people value type A personality traits. They value those people who are in control and or are controlling. They value people who are very good with time management, who are detail-oriented, punctual, and who can get things done on a deadline. Type B people aren't necessarily very good at all of that. We have other personality traits that tend to be overlooked but are valuable. We are good at thinking creatively. We are good at coming up with novel ways to do things. And when we aren't rushed and when we aren't constantly being forced to do things in a manner that we're not comfortable with, we'll get our work done. We flourish. We're not lazy like type A people tend to view us as being. And that's very frustrating to be viewed that way when you're working hard, but you just work in a different way. So as a typical type B person, I have rambled on and on and on about things in a very disjointed manner. But I'd like to talk about some tips for writing as a type B person in a way where you can be realistic about what to expect. How can you be more successful as a writer in that space? You need to come up with some sort of time management system. It's not going to be the type of time management system that type A people are always trying to bang into your head. It is not make a bulleted, detailed to-do list and have different colors and highlighters and stuff like that. Like, realistically, I don't have the time to make a list like that. My to-do list needs to be a quick, dirty, easy to reference thing, easy to understand. Take a quick glance and go, yep, that needs to be done. I can cross that off the list today. A lot of people will tell you to write things down in one spot, keep things in one spot. But for me, a person who misplaces things constantly, it is important to, I call it stalking. This is actually a tip that I've come up with from being a nurse. I will go into rooms in the morning and nothing is stocked. It's a bad start to the morning. So let's say you're going to sit down and write. You have your desk or your area that you like to write. At this desk, you're probably going to need a few things. You're going to need a space to keep something to drink. You're going to need a space for, maybe you like to write things down on a notebook as you're going, or maybe you like to listen to music and you need something separate, or whatever the case may be. For me, I have to write things down in multiple spots, and I keep my stocking supplies or whatever, I keep those in multiple spots too. So I have a little cubby that I keep things in the kitchen with important things like pens and highlighters and badges for work and a little notebook and things that I might want to take with me when I leave the house. And when I come back to the house, all of that goes right back into that container again. It doesn't leave there ever. And then that's how I know where all those supplies are. On my desk, I have a separate supply of things like pens and paper that I might need while writing. As for your schedule, for me, it works best to schedule both digitally and you write things down. So I have a calendar that hangs on my wall where I have my work days and hours written down and like doctor's appointments and things like that. And I cross it off as I go through every day. So I know what to expect for the next day and even for the coming week. Because if someone asks me what my work schedule is, I go, I don't know. Like, literally, I don't know what days this week I work because I can't remember. I have to look. By having your schedule written down in multiple places, you will always have one with you. Keep one in your purse or your bag or whatever you bring with you. Put one in your car if you have to. Keep one on a calendar that you hang up in your kitchen. Put things in your phone. Just make sure that no matter where you are, you can access your schedule and your to-do list or whatever you need. Another tip, and this could go for anybody, but particularly those of us who have brains that go 100 miles a minute and we can never calm down and we can never stop thinking, and it's so easy for us to flip from one thought to another, to another, to another, to another, and pretty soon we're trying to take on 50 tasks at once. Stop that shit. Human beings might think that they're good at multitasking. A lot of people do, and there are very few people who can handle it better than others, but for the most part, we suck at it. We were not built to do multitasking. And type B people, there's not a chance in hell we will get anything done if we're trying to multitask. We will get fragments of projects done, and we'll come back to it and go, what was I saying? What was I working on? I can't remember what I was doing because, I took a break and then I worked on 4 other things. So do not multitask, okay? That's probably like the biggest one. Stock your station and focus on one thing at a time. Now, that being said, historically, we've also placed a lot of value on people who can sit down, keep their heads down, nose to the grindstone, and work for hours and hours and hours and be very productive. That's how a capitalistic society works, and I'm not going to get into that, but people are more than their productivity. So when you're working, you need to remember that you need a break. You are not a machine. It is okay to take a break. In fact, studies show that your productivity will increase as long as you take a break every 25 minutes or so, thereabouts. People's tolerance for work varies, but if you take that break and come back to the exact same task, your mind will be refreshed. I know that when I'm training to do a new task or learn a new skill, I screw up constantly. My brain gets filled with information so fast that I can no longer process simple things. It makes me look and feel like, I'm going to be blunt, it makes me look and feel like a complete moron. I mean, some people are really, really good at remembering things after they've been shown how to do it once. I'm not like that. And a lot of type B people are not like that. So walk away, take a break, and come back to the same task, and your brain will actually regenerate some of those connections that it has been stressing while it's trying to learn. Your brain is using all that energy up. That's why you have a headache. That's why you feel fuzzy-minded after a long, long day of studying. That's why you stop retaining information after a certain point in time. Those connections are just shot. They say, I'm done and I need a break. So take that break. Come back. You'll find that some of that's regenerated and you'll actually remember things better. Since we were children, most of us have been raised to think that I need to work hard to get what I want. I need to work constantly to get what I want. I need to define myself at my job. I mean, that's why people ask, when you're at a party or when they first meet you, oh, what do you do? It's such a huge part of your life. Why are we training ourselves to work so hard? The whole hustle culture I could do a video on that in and of itself. I think it's a recipe for burnout. We are already tackling so many things, especially if you have children or multiple jobs or taking care of a sick family member or something like that. Like, you can't do it all and you can't have it all. That is the hardest part for a lot of people to accept in this situation, because we think that we can, and then we berate ourselves for not being able to reach that goal because we just think we're not working hard enough or we need to be better at time management. And you can, like a machine, whittle down all the extraneous things that are distracting you and causing you to get off track. You can cancel plans with your family. You can say, hey, I'm going to give up my TV show at night. I'm going to dedicate X amount of hours a week no matter what, and I'll do sleep over it if I can't reach my goal of writing for this many hours every week. My personal opinion is you are going to kill yourself doing that. You will burn out, and then you're going to run away from it for so long that you won't accomplish as much in the long run as you would have if you just took it more slowly. And perhaps one of the most obvious things, you've got to define a goal. So I would stress that, especially for type B people, your goal is probably going to be very lofty. Mine usually are. However, you're oftentimes setting yourself up for disappointment, burnout, and ultimately failure if you set the bar too high. This goes against classic advice. Reach for the stars, you can do anything, work hard enough, and you'll achieve your goals. Well, you know what? Eventually you might. Or your goals might change as you go along. That's totally okay too. With this goal, you can say something like, I want to write 3 nights out of the week. That way you have flexibility as to which nights you want to write. You don't say, I need to do X amount of words every single night. Well, you know what? You're not going to do that. I can almost guarantee it, you are not going to do that. But if you aim to write 3 nights a week, I think that's a more realistic goal. If your goal is to, say, write a book by the end of the year, that's a perfectly reasonable goal. I would just also break that down into smaller goals as well. So by the end of month 1, I would like to have chapters, 1 through 5 finished, or whatever. Because if you define your goals too broadly or set the bar too low, then you're probably also setting yourself up for failure, because a lot of us are procrastinators and go, oh, I have all year to do this. I can work on it, whenever I want. And you don't want to wait till the last minute to do that. You want to make it a habit to do things regularly, but allow yourself some wiggle room so that you don't feel overwhelmed or frustrated or just want to lay down, curl up in a ball, and completely cry your eyes out and guzzle 3 bottles of wine in a night. And God knows we've all been there, right? Not just me. Being a type B person in a type A oriented world can be tough, but it doesn't mean that you're lazy. It doesn't mean that you can't be successful. It just means that we have to stop buying advice books and trying to follow advice from people who have their type A way of doing things. It doesn't work for us, and all it does is make us feel like a bunch of failures. These tips that I've offered you today, you take them or leave them. But for me, it has helped me stay on track and feel more energized and motivated to finish projects, because I have the supplies I need. I know what my schedule is. I know what I need to do, and I have defined some goals. And that's honestly a great feeling when you finally kind of figure something out that seems like it's going to work for you. One final tip that I have is to remember that you're going to fall off the wagon and things are going to get rough every once in a while. Life happens, and it's okay to take a break and come back. You need to take care of yourself first. It's like that thing on the plane where they say, put your own oxygen mask on before you assist others. Absolutely true in every area of life. It's been difficult for me to allow myself to have that space to recharge and say, I need to take care of myself. I can't take care of other people if I can't take care of myself first. And you're doing nobody any favors when you're so burnt out that you can't manage to do simple tasks. You have to take care of yourself. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to have the next one out to you by next week. Toodaloo.